Hi everyone, it's Sorkin. Today we are going to solve a problem when we are given two-dimensional array and we need to find the intersection, which are intervals, and we need to find the intersection between those intervals. So for example, let's say that in this case we have a 0, 2, which is here 0, 2 for the first list, and for the second we have 1, 5, and for the first list we have 5, 10, for the second we have 8, 12, which is here, and we need to find an intersection. How we are going to solve this problem? So let's take this example. Let's take the first 0 and the 2, and this one is 1 and 5, right? So 1 and 5. So this part is our intersection. So this is 1. So what's that mean? It means that so maximum of, so let's say that the first one, right? First start, let's say start first, and start second, right? Start second. So if we are going to take the whatever is the maximum right here, so the first one, so this is the first intersection, and if we are going to take the whatever minimum of the first one first and second, so if we are going to take the minimum of and 1 and 2, this is going to give us this one, right? So if we are taking maximum is for the first one is 1, and the minimum for the end 2 and 5 is 2. So the first intersection is 1 and 2, which is here, right? So as an output, this is the first one. So what we're going to do next, the next one is that we need to move to the next one. So here we have compared the first elements. Now we need to move to the second elements. So but here we have for the second list still have elements here. So still it goes from 2 to 5. And let's say that we may have here one more, right? So the next one starts from 5 to 10. Let's say there is one more, 3 to 4, somewhere here, right? So what we need to do, we need to move the first one to the next element. So we are checking that whichever element has the end. So for example, in this case, this one, then in that list, we are moving to the next element. So for example, in this case, the end is equals to, the end is equals to the first one end. So that's why we exhausted all possible options here. We are moving to the next one. Now we are applying the same logic here. So we are taking the minimum of the maximum of the start. Maximum of the start is what? 5. So maximum of the start is 5. And the minimum we are taking, minimum is, in this case, the maximum is equals to 5 and the minimum is equals to 5, right? So this is our second pair here. Okay, first thing that we are gonna do, we are gonna create pointer to the first array and to the second array. Let's just set them to 0, and the second that we are also setting to 0. Also, let's create our result of arrays that we are going to return. So that's gonna be arrays, and let's just call it a result. Let's just call it a result, and it's a new array list. New array list, and we are going to return that. So we are going to return our result. We need to return that in two-dimensional array. That's why we are converting that to array, and it's going to be the size of the new int, and we need to take the first one, the second one is going to be 2 right here, and the first one is going to be the result size. Okay, that's what we are going to return. Now let's go over our two-dimensional arrays and define the intersection. So for that, let's create a while loop, and while f is less than first list. First pointer is less than first list length, right? And second is less than second list length. What we are going to do here? So first we are taking the start and end, right? So let's take the start. What's the start? Start is the maximum of max of the first list zero, so first element, right? And second list zero. Okay, the same one we can actually copy paste that here. The end is we are taking the minimum. We are taking the minimum of the first and the second element. So the end of the first and the end of the second. So here we are taking the end, start and end. Okay, now we have start and the end. Now we are checking that if our start is less than or equal to end, otherwise we cannot add that to our result, right? So we are adding to our result. We are adding a new list, new integer array, two-dimensional array, right? With the two-dimensional array, we are adding our beginning, our start and end, start and end, right? So we have added here, and after that, what we're gonna do, we are gonna move either our right pointer or our left pointer, right? So if we are checking that here, if our end is the equals to our first list, if it's the first list end, right? First list 1 and for the first list, then in that case, what we are going to do, we are going to just increment our first pointer, right? And the same way we are going to do here for the second one. If the second list, if it's equals to our end, then we are incrementing our second pointer. Okay, that's it. Let's run it. Okay, the first list is misspelled here. Let's run it one more time. Okay, it passes all tests. Now let's calculate the time and space complexity. What's the time complexity? Let's say that we have the size of the first list is n and the size of the second list of m. So we are taking our time complexity m plus m. Regarding the space complexity, we are creating here a list. And what's the size of that list? The size of that list is the minimum of the size of m or n, so shortest. So whichever is the shortest, we are taking that as a space complexity for our list. So m, n, or m. Okay, that's it. That's it for today. Hope you like my content. If you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye.